Swift programming language. What is Swift? Swift is a multi-paradigm, general-purpose programming language that was created by Apple Incorporated and the open-source community. Swift was created as a replacement for Apple's previous programming language Objective-C, which had been mostly untouched since the early 1980s and lacked modern language capabilities. Swift was first released in 2014. A crucial component of Swift's design was its ability to interact with the vast corpus of Objective-C code created for Apple devices over the past decades. Swift works with Apple's Cocoa and Cocoa Touch frameworks. It has been a part of Xcode since version 6, which was released in 2014 and was created using the free and open-source LLVM compiler framework. It makes use of the Objective-C runtime library on Apple platforms, allowing C, Objective-C, C++, and Swift code to coexist in a single program. Swift has features that address some common programming errors like null pointer dereferencing and provides syntactic sugar to help avoid the pyramid of doom. Swift was designed by Apple to support many core concepts associated with Objective-C, particularly dynamic dispatch, widespread late binding, extensible programming, and similar features, but in a safer way, making it easier to catch software bugs. Swift enables protocol extensibility, which Apple touts as a significant shift in programming paradigms they refer to as protocol-oriented programming. This extensible framework may be applied to types, structs, and classes, similar to traits and type classes. At Apple's 2014 Worldwide Developers Conference, Swift was unveiled, WWDC. 2014 saw an increase to version 1.2, and WWDC 2015 saw a significant upgrade to Swift 2. Version 2.2, which was previously a proprietary language, was released as open-source software for Linux and Apple platforms on December 3, 2015. The core team of Swift made source stability a priority in later versions, while the syntax underwent significant modification through version 3.0. Swift outperformed Objective-C in terms of measured popularity in the first quarter of 2018. A number of built-in classes and structures underwent changes in Swift 4.0, which was released in 2017. The migration functionality included in Xcode can be used to upgrade code created with earlier versions of Swift. The Swift runtime may now be included into Apple operating systems thanks to Swift 5, which was published in March 2019 and brought a stable binary interface to Apple platforms. Swift 4 and its source are compatible. Swift 5.1 was declared to be available in September 2019. By adding module stability and extending the language's stable features to compile time, Swift 5.1 improves upon the previous version of Swift 5. It is now possible to develop and distribute binary frameworks that will operate with subsequent Swift releases thanks to the advent of module stability. At the 2021 WWDC, Apple made the official announcement of Swift 5.5, which considerably increases the language's support for concurrency and asynchronous code and, most importantly, introduces a special iteration of the actor model. History and growth. Chris Lantner began working on Swift in July 2010 and eventually enlisted the help of numerous other Apple programmers. Swift borrowed concepts from far too many other languages to name, including Objective-C, Rust, Haskell, Ruby, Python, C#, and Clue. The first publicly available Swift-written software was the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference (WWDC) app, which was released on June 2, 2014. Registered Apple developers at the conference were given access to a beta version of the programming language, but the corporation made no guarantees that the final release of Swift would be source code compatible with the test version. If source code converters were required for the whole release, Apple intended to make them available. A free 500-page manual on the Swift programming language was also made public during WWDC and is accessible on the official website and the Apple Book Store. On September 9, 2014, the Gold Master of Xcode 6.0 for iOS marked Swift's 1.0 milestone. On October 22, 2014, Xcode 6.1 and Swift 1.1 were both released. Xcode 6.3 and Swift 1.2 were both published on April 8, 2015. 28 On September 21, 2015, Swift 2.0 became accessible for publishing apps in the App Store after being unveiled at WWDC 2015. The release of Swift 3.0 occurred on September 13, 2016. The release date of Swift 4.0 was September 19, 2017. Released on March 29, 2018, was Swift 4.1. Swift.org was established to house the project when the Swift language, supporting libraries, debugger, and package manager, were all made available under the Apache 2.0 license, with a runtime library exception on December 3, 2015. Anyone may easily get the source code from GitHub, compile it themselves, and even submit pull requests to add new code to the project. Swift Playgrounds is an iPad-only app that Apple unveiled during the WWDC 2016, with the goal of teaching people how to develop in Swift. When lines of code are arranged in a specific order and run, the app's 3D video game-like interface gives feedback. Ted Kremenek, a seasoned member of the team, took over as the Swift project lead when Chris Latner announced his departure from Apple in January 2017 to accept a new position with Tesla Motors. SwiftUI, which offers a framework for declarative UI structure design across all Apple platforms, was introduced by Apple with Scode 11 during WWDC 2019. Since Swift 2.2, official downloads for the Ubuntu Linux distribution have been available. Since Swift 5.2.4, CentOS and Amazon Linux have also been offered. For Android, there is also a native toolchain package and an unauthorized SDK.